having done many wonderful works.
In the name of Jehovah, we did many works, read.
And then I will prophesy unto them, I never knew you.
Christ said, you did all that, but I never knew you. Because you was doing it for fakeness. You saying my name. That's called name dropping. Somebody know me in East Zone, they say, you know Lando? They name dropping. You get what I'm saying? Somebody say they know you from whatever part of town. They name drop, but you don't necessarily know that person. They just know you. So a lot of times we out here saying we know Jesus, but we actually don't know him because we not keeping his law. He said, depart from me, ye that work what?
And then I will prophesy unto them, I never knew you.
Even though you knew my name and you name dropped on me, I never knew you because you wasn't doing the will of the Father, which is keeping God's laws. You get what I'm saying? So now, go ahead.
Depart from me, ye that work iniquity.
Depart from me that work iniquity. Ye that work iniquity, right? So you know my name, but you're working iniquity. Now we got to figure out if that's us. Is that scripture talking about us today? What is iniquity? Are we working iniquity today? Because everybody know the name Jehovah in English. Everybody know the name Jesus in English right now. Every Christian church on the planet teach that name. But are we working iniquity currently? What is iniquity? What you say? She said it's sin. You know what is iniquity? You don't know? That's a good answer. Give me Psalm 51:2. No. We're going to find out what iniquity is because we all know his name currently up here. But now we got to figure out if we work in iniquity. Because if we are, Christ's going to say, depart from me. You don't know me. You're name dropping me. You get what I'm saying? Read what you got.
Psalm chapter 51, verse 2. Wash me thoroughly from mine iniquity and cleanse me from my sin.
Wash me from my iniquity. Continuing the thought, he says, cleanse me from my sin. Iniquity is sin. Ding, ding, ding. You got it right? Now, what is sin? Let's see if we work in sin. What is it?
No.
Evil. She say evil. What's Dijon? What's sin? What you think?
Shit, stuff that you do that's bad.
Stuff that you do that's bad, right? And that's very vague, right? Yeah. So if I told Dijon, I want you to go to the store for me, you would be like, what store? Do you need shoes? Do you need shirt? Do you need food? Do you need what kind of store? And I would have to specifically say, look, I need you to go to the Asian store and get me a t-shirt. Now you're not going to go to Food Co., right? So instead of being vague and saying sin is something bad, I need specific on what sin is. I know it's something bad. For example, if I dig in my nose at the dinner table and I wipe it on the table, is that good or bad? That's terrible and it's disgusting. But is it a sin?
There you go.
Let's find out what sin is. Give me 1 John 3 and 4.
1 John chapter 3, verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin.
Whoever commits a sin.
Transgresseth also the law.
Transgress means you're breaking the law. Transgress means to break. Read.
For sin is the transgression of the law.
For sin is the breaking of God's laws. Sin is the breaking of God's laws. When you break a law in America, it's called a crime. When you break God's laws in the Bible, it's called sin. So you're committing a crime against God. You're breaking the law. Let's get a law to see if we're working iniquity currently. Give me Leviticus 21 and 5. They go an easy one. Let's get a law to see if we're working iniquity, even though we know God's name. We know Jesus Christ's real name. Let's see if we're working iniquity currently. And when he meets us, he say, get out of my face because I don't know you. Read what you got.
Leviticus chapter 21, verse 5. They shall not make baldness upon their head.
It's a law of God that we should not shave our head. If we break that, we're transgressing the law and we're in the midst of sin. Read.
Neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard.
Neither are you supposed to shave off the sides of your beard. You're not supposed to go into it. You're not supposed to mar it as a man. If you are doing that, you are breaking God's laws. You are in the midst of iniquity, and Christ's going to say, depart from me because I never knew you. You get what I'm saying? Give me Leviticus 11 and 7. Do you know about your dietary code? The dietary laws in the Bible? Okay. Do you like shrimp? You like shrimp? You like bacon in the morning? Most black people do. I say that because I relate to you. That's how we used to wake up in the morning, right? So guess what? Let's get the law in the Bible. Let's see if we're working iniquity. Let's see if we're breaking God's laws. Give me some Leviticus 11:7.
Leviticus chapter 11, verse 7. And the swine.
The swine, that is pork. Swine is pork, right? That's your sausage McMuffin in the morning. That's your bacon in the morning, right? That's your that's your chorizo for Issachar, right? That's your pork. Read.
And the swine, though he divide the hoof, and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud.
So the first two qualifications the pig meets, but he don't chew the cud. What it mean to chew the cud? He eat the grass, right? And then it go into one stomach, he regurgitate it, it cleans it further in another stomach, and it purifies it. The pig don't chew the cud. He don't even have sweat glands. So what you are, is what you eat, right? The pig will eat another dead animal. It'll eat a human flesh. It'll eat a baby. It'll eat feces, right? And it don't clean it. So when you eat that, guess what you're eating? You're eating waste. That's why it's naturally salty. You don't got to put a drop of salt on that bacon in the morning. You just cook it and flip it and eat it. And it already got natural flavor because it don't sweat. God said don't put that in your body, read.
Yet he cheweth not the cud.
But he don't chew the cud, read.
He is unclean to you.
He is unclean to you. The pork is unclean to the Israelite man and woman according to God, read.
Of their flesh.
Of their flesh, the shoulder, the pork chop, the bacon bits, no matter what piece of the pork butt, no matter what piece you get, the pork skin, the pork rind, whatever piece of the pork, it said ye shall what?
Of their flesh shall ye not eat.
You shall not. So when God say thou shalt, that's a commandment. When he say thou shalt not, that's a commandment. So he said of the pork, ye shall not eat that. So if you're in the midst of that, and you know the name Jehovah, you know the name Jesus, and you're breaking that law, God say, get away from me because I don't know you. Do anybody want to be in that position? Jump over to verse 11. Now we're being re-educated in the Bible. Remember, the man to my right is reading the Bible. He's reading the actual King James Bible. The pieces that the pastor never read to you. The pieces that the slave master never taught your great-great-great-grandfather. And he never taught my grandfather, never taught my father, never taught me. So I have a misunderstanding of what the words say. Read what you got.
Verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the water.
This is what you can eat that's swimming in the waters. Now we're talking about seafood. We know we can't eat pig. Thus saith God. Not Judah. God said that, right? Read on.
Whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat.
If you got fins and scales on it, it's all good in Jesus. It's all good with God, right? Salmon, they got fins and scales on it. Snapper got fins and scales on it. Tilapia got fins and scales on it. Perch got fins and scales on it. Bass got fins and scales on it, right? What about catfish? That got fins and skin on it. Granny peel that back. You don't go over you don't do that to catfish. It's a bottom feeder. So guess what? You got that little blackfish. You got that little blackfish that cleaned the fish tank. He's sucking the algae eater. If you take that out your fish tank, guess what? It's gonna be nasty water, right? So when you take the catfish out the water, he's the one that eats on the bottom. He eat all the boo that the shark do, that the octopus do, that all the fishes do. He eat that. So do the shrimp. Do he got fins and scales on him? No, he do not. Do the lobster got fins and scales on him? No, he do not. They crawl on the floor of the ocean. And they eat everything that fall down. So guess what? They got us eating bugs. You wouldn't eat a fly, would you? Because he landed on SHIT, right? You wouldn't eat that. But guess what the crab, shrimp, and lobsters doing? This is what God been trying to tell us. Read what you got.
Verse 10. And all that have not fins and scales in the sea.
If it don't got fins and scales on it, like your octopus, your squid, your calamari, your shrimp, your crab, your mussels, your clams. Read.
And in the rivers. Of all that move in the water, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
They shall be an abomination unto you. So guess what? If you're breaking that law, God said you shall not eat that, and you know the name Jehovah. You know the name Jesus. And you've been teaching people. You've been casting out devils in Christ's name. But you eating crab, shrimp, and lobster. You shaving your beard. You eating pork. What are he going to say to you? Get away from me because I don't know you. Ye that work iniquity. Ye that break my laws. You get what I'm saying? Bible is, like you said, is that a contradiction? The Bible never contradicts itself. It say the same thing over and over and over. So we read that in Genesis, right? We read it in Exodus. We went to Matthew. Let's get into 2 Timothy. Let's see what we got.
2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 19. Nevertheless, the foundation of God standeth sure, having this seal, the Lord knoweth them that are his.
The Lord know them that are his, right? Read on.
And let everyone that nameth the name of Christ depart from iniquity.
What is iniquity again? You got to depart. Just because you know the name of God or Christ, if you haven't departed from iniquity, it don't matter for you.
Bring it out.
It have no weight for you. Right now, I got a question for you, right? I answered your question, right? And I hope you was edified with it, right? Now, I'm going to ask a question pertaining to your salvation. How do we get the kingdom of heaven? What we got to do?
Bring it out.
Preaching and teaching his word.
Preaching and teaching his word. I like that. That's another one of those vague things where you hit the dart. You hit the dart, but you didn't get the bullseye, right? So you got to preach his word. What's the word? What's the word we got to preach? What does the Bible say the word? I'll get it for you. Don't worry about it. Give me Isaiah 8:20. I'll get you what the word is according to the Bible. He going to read it. I'm going to bag up, and then we all going to know what the word is. Because what you said was right. You got to preach and teach the word, right? I like what he said, preach and teach the word, but it's more detail on it though. You get what I'm saying? I want to get all the detail on what preaching and teaching the word is supposed to do, right?
Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20. To the law,
To the laws of God,
and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this
the
word,
laws of God and the testimony, that's what the word is. He said, if you don't speak according to this word, read.
it is because there is no light in them.
Like going into understanding, right? So if you're not speaking according to the laws of God and the testimony, is no light in you. My brother said to get to the kingdom of heaven, you have to preach and teach the word, right? You got to preach and teach the laws of God and the testimony of Christ. That's what you got to do. Now let's see what James said about that thing. Give me James 1:22. Are we supposed to just teach and preach it, or are we supposed to get some more detail on it? Now it's easy for you to say it, but it's better when the Bible say it. Watch the Bible say it. Watch this.
James chapter 1, verse 22. But be ye doers of the word.
You got to be a doer of the word. What you preaching, you got to do it. The word is the laws of God, the testimony of Jesus Christ. You got to be doing it, right? Read.
But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only.
And not just hearers. Don't just listen to the Bible, but when it gives you instruction, you hear a commandment, you also do it. Because you're teaching people with your word and your action, right? So if you look up to me, I'm your big brother, and I say, look, man, you're not supposed to hit the women. That's not right. But every day you see me slap my woman up. Subconsciously, I'm teaching you it's okay to slap your woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm teaching you with my action, right? So if you're preaching the word, you say you got to follow God and Christ. You get what I'm saying? And you ain't got no beard on your face. You ain't got your fringes on. You're going to have a steak or a pork dinner on Saturday. You're doing everything contrary to the Bible. I'm going to look at you like this man is a hypocrite. How can you teach me how to serve God? You get what I'm saying? So now, keep going.
But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only.
Don't be just a hearer of the word, but you got to do it also, read.
Deceiving your own self.
You lying to yourself. You think you in good graces with God. You saying, Lord, Lord. But when he comes, he say, depart with me, because I don't know you, ye that work iniquity. It's saying the same thing. The Bible never contradicts itself. It say the same thing over and over and over again. Read.
That's it on that. Verse 23. For if any be a hearer of the word,
if you be a hearer of the word like we doing today, read,
and not a doer,
but you don't apply what you read,
he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass.
You're looking at yourself in the mirror and you know exactly who you are, what you need to do, right?
Verse 24. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way.
And then you go about your way and forget everything you was just looking at. You go after your lust again. You go after your fornication again. You get what I'm saying? Read on.
And straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was.
You forget what you're supposed to be doing. You forget the laws you're supposed to be keeping. You see yourself in this Bible and be like, oh, praises. And you go on in the midst of your fornication, right? This is where we at. We've been taken into captivity, right? The things that you're talking about, you going off of what you know and you defending what you've been taught, right? But what did Christ say we need to do when we come into the faith? Give me John 3:3. Let's see what Christ told us we need to do. Because guess what? Remember, we've been taught by our slave master. He taught us this Bible upside down. If I teach you a map upside down and you try to follow the line where you're supposed to get and it's upside down, you're gonna not get to your destination, and eventually you're gonna throw the map away. But what we're doing is turning it right side up. Say, no, you're actually here. And God actually wants you to go up here and keep the commandments. Don't go to the wide gate. In the wide gate, guess what? It's a lot of homosexuals going up in there. It's room for that. It's room for idolatry in there. It's room for sin. It's room for uncleanness. The narrow there, it's only room to keep God's laws. And that's what we're telling you right side up. You got to come back and keep God's laws, right? Read what you got.
The book of John, chapter 3, verse 3.
This is where my brother Dijon is. This is where my sister is currently. And this is where I once was, on this side of the sign. Read.
Jesus answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again.
You got to be born again. What that mean? Dijon, what you think that mean?
Your whole mind process being redone.
Right. Your whole mind process have to be redone, right? Read it again.
I was just teaching that to her.
Jesus answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee.
Verily mean truly. He said, truly, truly, I tell you, read.
Except a man be born again.
Unless you be born again, meaning be renewed in your mind. What you once knew, you have to put away, right? So we all know about computers, correct? You cannot, it's certain games that you cannot upload onto the computer if you got other programs on there, correct? So in order to upload that program, you got to delete what's already on there. Guess what? Your oppressor has uploaded you with Christianity, has uploaded you with white Jesus. You got to delete all that and be born again.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.